Alright, here's your guys' introductory video to your Desmos piecewise functions project, your guys' last math project for the school year. Okay, so I will post this so that you guys can see in Google Classroom. Now, here are the directions. Use Desmos to create your initials in block letters. Use your myabcusd.org account to log in. Remember to click the save button every time you make changes. Share your link by submitting it to Google Classroom when finished. So I am going to be making videos, you guys, of the whole entire project, and each video will be like a specific purpose. There will be a purpose for each video. So the minimum requirements for this assignment, you guys, 50 points. First and last name initials using block letters. So your first and last name have to be, you have to create that on Desmos. And you may only use linear functions, vertical and horizontal lines only, with restrictions of the domain and range. So if you guys make your block letters, 30 points. If you only use horizontal and vertical lines, 10 points. And use inequalities to color in your initials, 10 points. So this total project, you guys, is going to be worth out of 50 test points. And extra credit opportunities are 20 points additional. So you can get a total of 70 points out of 50 if you did everything correctly. And here are the extra credit opportunities. You add a background image, 5 extra credit points. You include your middle initial, that's an additional 10 points. And you guys create a frame, that's an additional 5 points. So this is the breakdown of the points and the requirements on what you guys are expected to do for this project. Okay, so for starters, let's get your guys' block scheduling idea. So I just decided to do my first and middle and last name initials, and then I decided to create my block schedules of my M letter, J, and D. Now, as you guys can see, as I created this, notice I counted each horizontal and vertical line, you guys. I counted each one. And this is very important that you guys label all of your vertical and horizontal lines, because there's a purpose for this when we do get to filling in your guys' letters using inequalities. So there's a purpose for it. So notice, you guys, as I counted 16 straight lines for my M, I continue on with 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and so on. So I kind of just did it in like a roundabout way, you guys, and just make sure that you guys are organized and you count every single side length by numbering it, because that, again, it's important to know that information. So I numbered them in a very unique pattern, and this is how you guys number them. If you did not pick up your pen and you were to draw this, that's how I numbered them. And as you guys can see, I did not pick up my pencil and I was able to draw my J. So 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, and that's how I would count it off, you guys. And if I started with 29 over here, 29, 30, 31, 32, and then here 33, 34, 35, 36. So that is, I strongly suggest that you guys count it off like that. So drawing out the sketch, you guys, is crucial, because again, it will help you guys down the road. Now, for some of you, I know some letters are harder to draw with block scheduling and whatnot. So if you guys take a look at these letters, these are some ideas that I have if some of you are struggling with like curves and just diagonal lines. So if you made staircases of straight and vertical and horizontal lines, that could work too. But if you need more help, then you guys can ask me. So create this. Now I'm going to show you guys how you guys could start logging in into Desmos. So everyone's going to go to login. You're going to log in with your Google account, your myabcusd.org account. And for me, it's this. And now you are going to hit Graphing Calculator. So first, because my initials, you guys, were M, J, and D, you want to make your initials folder. So go to plus sign, folder, M, hit that triangle, press enter, new folder, J, click that triangle, enter, and D. Those are my initials, you guys. Hit the triangle, enter. Now you also need to make something called an M shade, you guys. Oh, so folder first, sorry. We're gonna title it M shade. Hit the triangle, enter, a J shade, enter, and for me, I'm going to be making a new folder for my D shade. Now, if you're wondering, what is this M, J, and D used for? Well, what this is used for, you guys, is that this will allow me to organize where my lines are in respect to the graph. So if you want to take a look at what my idea is. So this was my graph. Now you guys see, if I cover this up, the whole M shade and the M, they disappear because they're all my functions from my graph, you guys, are within this folder. And for my M shade, all of them are within that folder as well. So that is why we need to put these in folders so that we can organize it. And as you guys can see, if I click these, then that whole section starts to disappear. So again, just something you guys should think about when, that's why we're making these folders essentially. So now that you guys got that started, now you guys are going to go to this wrench and you guys are going to make your x-axis from negative 300 to 300 and negative 300 to 300 for the y. And if you're wondering what this does, if you guys look at this background, now it goes from the x value of negative 300 to 300 and negative 300 to 300 for the y. So set your guys's domain and range, or your guys' x and y values like that. And now let's get into actually making our M. So if you guys recall, this is my first line, and this is my second, and this is my third, right? So I want to create this first. Now, you guys are gonna have to try to create or be mindful of the dimensions, because I always like my stuff to be centered. So I'm only gonna go from negative 300 to 300 about. So for me, you guys, when I'm making my M, I'm gonna hit this down triangle so it's down, so that, do you guys see this line? This line means that this is part of this folder. So when I click on that, then see, this is part of that folder. So this is how you guys create your guys' vertical lines. X equals where I want it to be. I want the line to be on negative 300, a vertical line, so I'm going to do x equals negative 300. X equals negative 300. Now I want to cut my, because as you guys can see, the line goes off to infinity. So I want to cut it off, you guys. So I'm going to cut it off so that it only goes from negative 300 to 300. So now be mindful of this. What I'm about to do is, when you guys hit shift, the key shift on your keyboard, and the symbol right to the right of P. So to the right of the P key, you guys, it's the bracket. So you hit shift and then the bracket right next to the P key. So we're gonna cut it off at negative 300. You always do your lower value first, you guys. And then you guys are going to do the less than symbol. Shift and the key right to the right of the M key, which is less than symbol. Shift and then less than, Y less than 300. And as you guys can see, it goes from negative 300 all the way up to 300. So we are moving on. Now with my M, you guys, actually, do I want it to be negative 300 to 300? Maybe negative 200 to 200. What did I do for this one? Hold on one sec. Well, I did do negative 300, but I made it from negative 100 to 100. Is that what I did? Oh yeah, so I didn't go all the way. So you guys can pick your guys' dimensions. You guys can certainly pick your guys' dimensions. So for me, you guys, oh, I did not save. That's the thing. So for my M, you guys, I'm gonna do x equals negative 300 to, I'll just do negative 100 so I can control it more. Now, do you guys see this problem? As you guys can see, I did not save. So that's a problem if you guys don't save. If you guys don't save it, then your work is just gonna get deleted. So lesson learned for sure. So negative 300 to 300. And I gotta change this again. Negative 300 to 300. So I'm gonna make mine, you guys, from negative 300 line all the way to the 100 line. So you guys can pick your dimensions. I just have you guys default that so that you guys can work with bigger numbers. So now remember, my number 2 line, you guys, is right here. So I'm just gonna go maybe like 2 this way. So what is that? This is negative 280 and negative 260. So I'm going to make my horizontal line, you guys, at y equals negative 100. Bracket, and if you guys forgot how to make this bracket symbol, shift and the key to the right of the P key. That's the bracket. Now I want to cut it off from negative 300 to negative 260. So negative 300 less than x less than negative 260. And as you guys can see, there's my horizontal line from here to here. And if I want to create another vertical line right here, you guys, it's x is equals to, what is this? Negative 260. So x equals negative 260. Right? Bracket. I only want it to go up maybe like 2. So if this is negative 100, that's to negative 60. So negative 100, y less than negative 60. And that, for the most part, is how you guys make your guys' vertical and horizontal lines. Again, this is something you guys are going to have to tinker with, but goal number 1 is to make your guys' letter, your block letters, so that it looks like this on your guys' Desmos, using your vertical and horizontal lines only. So hopefully you guys can tinker around with that and play around with it to make your guys' letters. Again, it's going to be trial and error, but you guys just be very organized and plan what dimensions you are going to create with your letters and spacing. And remember, anytime you guys make changes or go to another screen, always hit the save button. Always hit that save button so that you guys can for sure save all your changes to your guys' graph. Okay, so that's a good beginner starter, and the next videos, you guys, will have more insight to what we gotta do. Okay, all right, hopefully this was helpful, and again, always ask me questions if you guys have any.